Typically, when God gives us a gift, he gives us something which we can hold in our hand so we can handle the gift as it grows. He takes the small things that we offer him and turns it into something big. And I know Mark spoke on this last week as one of the hallmarks. If you missed that, you can look back at it. I loved it, the way that he posed that question. What is it in your hands? Like, each of us has been placed in his kingdom with gifts in our hands. And it might not seem like much. It might not seem enough, but that's the point. God specializes in the small. He takes the small seed, the seemingly insufficient things, and he turns them into something greater than we could have ever dreamed of or ever imagined. We see it all the way through the Bible, don't we? What seed has God placed in your hand as you enter 2024? What gift has he given you? God specializes in the small things. And finally, appearance isn't everything. Anyone else's kids start judging their presents when they see them? No, maybe just mine. But some of them are like, whoa, look at that present. It's so shiny and it's massive. And oh my goodness, I'm going to open that one first. Or that one's clearly a book. I'll open that one at the end. Or they start opening presents. And we've got a 1-year-old, and he doesn't really have a clue what's going on when he sees his siblings opening presents for birthdays or Christmas or whatever. Well, he hasn't. Last year he was very little. But he is more interested in the wrapping paper and more interested in the packaging than actually the gift that is inside. But some of these presents today as well, I don't know if it's just me, but it's really hard to get into. Does anyone else have that difficulty? Some of the presents that you get, the kids come to me and they're like, can you open this? Even once they've unwrapped it. And the twisty things are fine because you can just twist and the toy comes out. But sometimes I feel like you need a whole toolbox, like pliers, to open these gifts. And I have to be honest, sometimes I'm like, let's just leave that one. Let's just put that one aside. Let's open another one. But sometimes God gives us a gift that doesn't look much on the outside. We have an expectation of what it's going to be based on what it looks like. And we start to unwrap it. And sometimes we have to wrestle with it. And we have to persevere. And we have to not give up. If we're not sure what to do with it, we have to keep persevering. We have to look past the wrapping and the packaging to the gift that's inside. When Jesus came, he was wrapped, wasn't he? But not how we would have expected. Not in a gold blanket or a gold robe. He was in stable sheets. He wasn't in a shiny palace, but in a smelly manger. And he wasn't clothed with robes and riches, but he was naked in a makeshift crib with the animals around him, amongst the poo and the feed. Some of us have gifts in our hands which don't look or feel or smell how we expected they would. They haven't come wrapped as we thought, or dare we say it, as we would have liked. Maybe you've just lost your job. Maybe you're struggling in your marriage and it's not thriving how you would have hoped. Maybe you're frustrated that you didn't get that promotion, or that you're still single despite years of praying for the partner that you really want. And I want to encourage you this morning to look past the exterior and the struggles and to persevere to see the gift that God has blessed you with. Because appearance isn't everything. And so this morning we have hopefully looked at the Christmas story and we have taken from it some things to consider when we look at the gifts that God has given us today. So just to recap, number one, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid of the gift that God has given you. Number two, God's timing is perfect, even if it doesn't make sense. Number three, God specializes in the small. Do not despise these small beginnings. And number four, appearance isn't everything. Let's trust God with what he's given us, even though it might not look how we would have thought it would. And so as the band come up, please, if you guys could make your way up, I just want we're going to finish, and I think that we need to respond in some way. I believe that God has spoken this morning, and I feel like I want to give an opportunity for a response. So if you guys could stand.